You are listening to the Berlin House Music Podcast. All right. And we're live.
Hello.
Hello. So, David Silver. Or is it David Silver? Because that has been a question that I've been asking
That's been
myself.
a question.
Yes.
You can use both, actually, because I think my mother, at the beginning, she was a huge fan of David Bowie.
Okay.
And that's why I get this name. But, I'm coming originally from South Tyrol, which is like on the border between Italy and Austria. And, even my grandma used David. Because David, it's more German, or like the way or even not, but it's the way that most of the people spell it out. So it's like, okay, I'm open for both.
Yes. Great.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, David Silver.
Yeah.
All right. So, first time I've got in touch, let's say, with your music was on one of the Wintergarten vinyls of Sisyphos, the label. And if you can tell us a little bit about generally what you do as David Silver.
This was the first project I take in CC as a label manager. The idea behind was like giving a musical identity to all the floors.
Okay.
Because, we have like many floors, and I thought it was good for the people like to have a little bit of representation of the real proper vibe of the floor, of each floor. So we started with the Wintergarten vibe.
Yeah.
And me and Julian was like selecting the music together. And at the beginning I was not even sure about being on it, actually. But then I did a couple of tracks, and then Julian was the one picking up my tracks. Because I would have preferred another one, actually. But I think it's good. It was a good choice in the end. So, yes. That's how it works. And it was a super nice experience for me because I had the chance to meet great artists and to get in touch with them and start this a small networking with people I like personally and musically.
Okay.
Because both components are really, really important to me.
Definitely.
And this was like the story behind that record.
All right. So how did you basically, let's say, got into the family of Sissi? And because you are originally from Italy.
Exactly.
And at one point you decided to move to Berlin.
Yeah, it was not a direct move since I was like in between. I used to study in Milan before.
Yeah.
And then after my study, I moved to Vienna.
Okay.
For a couple of years, actually.
Yeah.
And already before I had like some connection with the Berlin game.
Yeah.
I'm playing since now 15 years, so it's a long time. It's been a long journey. And then it was like the idea, okay, now I need a cut. I need like really to restart because I ended a long time relationship. And it was for me a new city, needs new start, so to say. And I want to do something that really not takes me too much energy from my mind, because I used to study law and this was like really pretty heavy.
Okay.
And after it was like, okay, now I want to have focus on the music, but I still need money. Yeah. So at the beginning was like a friend of mine, actually, coming from from the same city I come. He was telling me, yeah, I'm now managing the whole pizza in Sisi, the pizzeria.
Ah, yeah.
And so if you want to help me out with that, and also like try to cook something for all the staff during the week. Yeah. Because there is a huge staff working during the week, every time the club looks a little bit different, but because there are a lot of people working inside.
Yeah.
So they also need to eat. And so, yeah, that's basically he invented so this position, and that was like my intro
Okay.
into the club. But I was like really not talking with people about music or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like really more try to find a new balance for myself, finding something that keeps me doing, earning a little bit of money, but almost doing stuff, like being out of the studio, out of my house. I just want to work with my hands and
Okay.
not think too much.
Yes.
And this was really, really good. This was the introduction. And then, if we talk about the music, I was discovered. I was not the one coming up like, hey, here I am, I play, I want to play, I need to play, or whatever. Me was just like doing music,
Yeah.
doing a lot of music at home, and then sending it to a friend of me, which
Yeah.
wasn't working there. But he was friend of the guy who used to run the label of the club before
Okay.
me. So it happens that they have been in the same room while listening to my music,
Ah.
which was unreleased at that time.
Yeah.
And then he comes up in the kitchen, shows up, and so who is David here? I say, yeah, it's me. And I thought like I did something bad or whatever. He was like, yeah, I heard your music. It's cool.
Yeah.
If you will be up for a release, let's go for it.
Nice.
I say, yeah, that's how it started. And then get the first gig,
Yeah.
which was actually in the Hammerhalle, because the release was techno music.
Ah.
So was another AKA, and I was doing techno.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's how it starts,
Okay.
so to say. This.
Great. So an introduction through pizza, basically, and I think the general vibe of changing from a pattern to a new pattern in life.
Exactly, and I think one of the greatest things of Sissy is like really they do not care about what you are doing.
Yeah.
Since you are doing, if you are doing good music, or you can play in front of people and do a good DJ set or whatever, then it doesn't matter if you are like working in the kitchen or cleaning team or general manager of whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't care. They just don't care. They are all about the music and not about the names.
That's
And not
good.
about how many followers do you have or all this kind of.
Yeah, I think that's a great mentality for sure, because it is at the end about music, and I think a lot of upcoming DJs struggle and have the illusion that everything is about followers,
Exactly.
but it's not. It's about good music.
In the end, yes. I mean, for me, it was like that.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you if that's the right way or the wrong way. I mean, there have been people that arrived to some goals way faster than me, maybe due to their social abilities or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, for me, it was like this way. It was like really original, doing music in the studio, sending to your friends, and then being somehow discovered.
Yes.
Which I think it's like cool, because if I come to you and telling you, okay, this thing, it's super cool, you need to listen to it, just because I say it, it's not that cool anymore.
Yeah.
But if a friend of mine, which is your friend too,
Yes.
and you believe he has a good taste, is coming to you and telling you, you need to check out this guy,
Yeah.
then it all become more interesting
Yes.
for the INR, because we have to always think about the idea of, there is also an ego
Definitely.
behind the IRN work.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's all about taste. And so they also want to pick up the artists,
Yes.
They want to discover, they
Yes,
want to
yes,
find
yes,
the right
yes, yes.
one, so that they can tell you, I was the one discovering this
Yeah,
guy.
definitely.
So it's also part of the thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I'm talking now, it's history about now 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Things are now pretty different,
Yes.
especially during this pandemic period. So
Yeah.
you cannot wait to be discovered, I think.
True.
You need to show somehow your music or your art to the right people,
Yeah.
and make yourselves notice. How do you do that? That's another question. That's another matter. You can do it some smart way or other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, during the pandemic, online is the only way to go anyways. Everything is locked down.
Exactly.
So yeah. But all right, so 5 or 6 years since. So that's also around the time then when you moved basically from
Yeah, yeah,
Italy to.
2016. Yeah, 5 years now.
Okay.
5 years now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and since then you've been with the Sisyphos family basically.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm resident of the club, and then we enjoy to tour together, especially with the, so to say, the small Wintergarten family, which
Yeah.
is like the house guys, the house DJs from the club,
Yes.
and it's super nice. It's
Nice.
super nice.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Sisyphos is my favorite club in Berlin, and I really like it, and always feel like positive energy when I go there, when I come back from it. So let's say, how many floors does Sisyphos have?
That's a good question because it depends. It depends from the party.
Okay.
You know, the name says it. You know, Sisyphos. You know, the mythos, the which always rolls back to the beginning
Yes.
of the mountain. You know, he
Yeah.
rolls his bar to the top and then comes back, and that's almost like the club works. It's always like work in progress.
Yeah.
They are always building new floor, new stuff, a tent, a special floor, an outdoor place where you can dance or whatever. So mainly 3 floors,
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
But then it's another fourth one, which is like more for the live band.
Yeah.
And then there is also the outdoor part, which is open only during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are many places, and now that we had like last season was like the rave tunnel outside at the end of the club, which was between the Hammerhalle and the toilet, so to say.
Yes.
So yeah, it's always changing. But
Yeah.
let's say the main floor are so 3. There is the Hammerhalle for techno,
Yes.
Dampfer, I would say more for melodic tech house and experimental stuff too.
Yeah.
And then there's the Wintergarten, which is more dedicated to the housey and disco and funky stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's always amazing because I was always amazed when I walked into the Hammerhalle, you know, and as the bass is rising, and you also had like the pictures on the wall, and like this kind of laser thing that would, let's say, take a picture of your shadow, and you can see your shadow, like, and as you come closer and closer, the bass increases, and then you come in this huge kind of circle, which is just filled with bass. Yeah, I really like it.
It's a proper raver experience.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
my opinion, still very close to the spirit of a proper rave.
Yeah.
I would not say it's a rave because it's in a club, you know, so you have some small rules you have to respect, but on the other side, it's like really pretty close to that experience, and I think that's why people love it, still love it, because it's somehow it's raw, but it's good. It has to be like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. Yeah, you don't have the fancy people there. You don't have like, you know, the so-called business techno. That's not the place for it. It's like more like really proper raver, people who want to dance and give out a lot of energy.
Yes.
That's all about, I think.
Yeah. So, and it also it opens at Friday, like usually when it used to open,
Exactly.
and it closes at
On Monday morning. at
Monday
10,
morning.
non-stop.
There you go.
The longest party here in Berlin.
That is insane.
It's insane, but it's all about the concept, you know. That's really the concept of the club.
Yeah.
Through this long experience, the long journey you do,
Yeah.
that's somehow how the magic happens into behind those walls. Because I mean, I'm coming from Italy, and for me, one of the most struggling part of being a clubber back in
Yeah.
the days was like really once I get into the music, the party was over. The party was over. And then you have to move, maybe take an auto or, I don't know, a taxi or whatever to get to this after party. And then maybe the police comes, shut down the party because it was illegal or whatever. And having a place, you can really come in and stay as much as you want.
Yes.
That's great for me. That was like really, and I think still a lot of people believe this vibe depends on the long party.
Yeah.
It's about the time you spend also with the people.
True.
Because then you aren't so stressed. You can be more social. You can be more talkative with people. You can enjoy the dance floor for, I don't know, 5-6 hours, but then you can talk 3 hours with someone and then coming back to the dance floor, which basically doesn't happen that often in regular clubs.
True. Yeah, I think it definitely takes away the stress, and you have all the time to do whatever you want.
And as a DJ,
Yeah.
you play at least 3 hours, at less, but
Nice.
also 4 or even more.
Yeah.
So I think this is also something special because we are pretty in a lucky position because we always ask somehow to make long sessions, also abroad or in other clubs and so, and we are known, or whatever it means, a little bit known for that, for doing this extended set and session.
Yeah.
But the truth is, once you start, I don't know, to play for festivals or regular venue in other cities in Europe, Barcelona, Paris, Milan, or whatever, the reality is, if you get 2 hours, that's gold.
True. Yeah.
And that's like pretty short time for
Yeah.
my point of view.
Yes. Yeah, I understand. With 4 or 5 hours, you have so much flexibility. You can go through a journey. You can warm up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a different thing when you just have an hour or two and you need to deliver on the spot and
Especially if you are the guest. If
Yeah.
you're the guest, everything. It's like the attention is, the focus is on you. You play the peak time,
Yes.
and so you on one side you are lucky because they won't go because they paid.
Yeah.
And if you play the peak time, they stay. But on the other side, it's like really, I prefer to take people to a journey and like really start. I love to play warm up,
Yeah.
for example. I love really to start and go till the end. That's amazing to me.
True. Yeah, I think this way you can definitely determine the whole vibe and the energy of the room and the people
Exactly.
and give them full story.
And for me, it was like I had this chance in a club in Austria, in Innsbruck, which is called Tante Emma, and it's like my favorite club in the Alps, definitely.
Yeah.
And this club is so special because they gives you the chance to play from the beginning till the end. And so it's like really a long journey, and now maybe not because now there are more rules and whatever, but back in the days the end was like kind of open end.
Yeah.
So it turned off sometimes in 12 hours set. Something like this, like, so if once you get this experience,
Yeah.
it's like really coming back to play like just 1 hour. It's just like feels like, I'm just getting into the groove and
Yes.
it's done.
Definitely,
So,
yeah. So what's the longest set that you've played?
the longest session I've played, I think, was in Tiflis. And it was like 15 or 16 hours. 16 hours. It was back to back. It was not me
Alright.
alone,
Yeah, but still.
but it was literally, yeah. And it was like, suppose we play from 3 to 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I think something like that. And Julian from 6 to 9. Kolia was also there. Kolia Gerstenberg.
Yeah.
But then we decide, okay, we merge all slots and play a back-to-back, so we have at least 6 hours, which
Yeah.
is good, 3+3. But then, in the end, we keep on playing, and people was enjoying it, and the also the festival owners and so were like really flexible and having like a really great mentality to tell, okay, if the vibe is so cool, we can't stop it now. And this goes until the evening 11. Once we were like, okay, we are now done. And I was like really asking to the guy, yeah, if you have like a backup DJ, it would be cool, because now I'm like really, my legs are hurting and we are like really pretty drunk. And so I said, no, you didn't understand. The party is over since hours, but this is the only floor open. We already sent the security away, but the vibe here is so nice, we can't stop it. And we enjoy dancing with you.
Yeah.
So once you're done, it's done. So it was amazing experience.
Wow.
Amazing experience.
That is amazing. I think especially if the promoter of the festival lets it go just to be about you guys and that specific vibe, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a long set though. I don't think I could.
How long was the longest you played?
Well, the longest I've played, I think it was around 7.5 hours, but only me, let's say, you know. But it wasn't, let's say, a crazy party. It's more like an empty bar kind of vibe.
Okay.
So it felt also a bit longer because of that, but just from the very beginning till the very end, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is, but it's still an experience in my opinion. It's like really an experience. Also to keep like a comfortable vibe for all 2 hours in a bar. It's like amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think you also go through a journey with yourself.
Definitely.
Because you start certain vibe and then you go through certain other emotions, and then maybe you see a couple of friends and then you go to other emotions, and yeah,
that's how you learn to read the crowd.
Yeah,
in my opinion, it's the best way. Long sets are the one that really teach you how to read the emotion of the crowd, and like to get better as a DJ. I think in the end.
True. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to, let's say, as a DJ and producer in these Corona times now? I'm
producing. I'm doing some collaboration.
Yeah.
The first one I want to mention is the one with Mark Brauner. Okay. We now did some tracks together, and one was played in his Shall Not Fade takeover on Rinse FM, and he was like presenting this unreleased material, which now have been signed on a label, and another track too with him, and we have some more to come.
Nice.
And on the other side, I was also working with Nat Wendel.
Yeah.
And we also did a track together, and now it's still not finished, but I think it's gonna be a good one, at least for me. I like it. And also with Luca Olivotto, the owner of Small Great Things, which is a new label, vinyl label, exclusive. Very nice, and working with him on a tracks too for his upcoming various artists.
Nice.
On the other side, what for me the real change during this period was I've started learning piano from the basics.
Yes.
Because I used to compose a little bit. I have like some theories and whatever, but I used to write down my music. It was always like you write down your chords or whatever, your progression, and you move these MIDI files basically. Mm-hmm. And now it's like really my focus. It's all about to play. It's all about to play in real time, to being able to play piano properly, and that's like the biggest goal I have in this moment. It's like really to develop my musical skills, all my musical skills, but really by playing.
Yes.
Playing tunes from other people or very basic exercise. It's super nice for me, because really when it comes then to produce, I can translate my emotion into music without having, I don't know, 10 tries before it feels good to me.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not, okay, now I know what I want to express, and it needs, I will choose this chord progression because that's the right one to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like the biggest step, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, on the other side, working in a creative way
Yeah.
for some new projects,
Nice.
and together with Julian,
Okay.
the guy we did like the Sisyphos label
Yeah.
together, and yeah, there are some new projects to come once this pandemic is over,
Yes.
or at least gives us the possibility to do something
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. I think it's for sure always exciting to start up some new projects. But I think generally, like the piano lessons, I think that's very nice. I've always wanted to be able to play piano as well.
I never had the chance before. I
Yeah.
never had the chance, like really to, because before I used to study at university, and once you study, yeah, like really complicated thing
Yeah.
was like, okay, I don't want to study more than this. This
Yes.
is more than enough. Okay, and then it was like, okay, I'm out from university, need to grab some money to, to live, just to
Yes.
live basically.
Yeah.
And so I was like more focused on playing records and having a DJ career than a producer career.
Yeah.
And because basically I comes from DJing. I'm a DJ, I'm not a producer. I'm a DJ, and I believe I can DJ okay. I'm not like a good producer. I'm still work in progress to me. It doesn't
Okay.
feel like I am on a level that feels good to me. It's
Well,
still,
it feels good to me for sure.
that's good. That's cool. But yeah, I really want to develop those skills. And now,
Yeah.
for the first time, because I was like really, I have to be honest, I was working like really hard in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I was like working a lot. And after it was like, okay, now I have nothing more to do.
Yes.
Nothing. Like really, literally nothing at a certain point. And I would say, okay, now it's the right time because I have time and
Yeah.
I have a little bit of money, so I can make it through a decent period,
Yes.
and I want to take this as my first goal.
Yeah.
So that's how
Nice.
it starts.
So how many lessons did you have so far? The piano
I
lessons?
started with November,
Okay.
and I'm doing it like every day. I'm doing it like I have like this. Um, I started a course on internet, a web course, and
Yeah.
I can see the lesson as many times as I want,
Nice.
and there is a nice forum which I can give question if I want, or yeah, there are also some challenge on this platform. I'm not taking part on it to the challenge, I have to be honest, but it's cool. It's cool way to learn for
Yeah.
me because yeah, it's like really something you can do by your own, but on the other side, you have enough information to really get better.
Nice.
So
And do you have an actual piano at home, or do you have like a MIDI keyboard or like synthesizer?
I know I have I've started a little bit with a synthesizer at the beginning, but I was like, okay, I understood very quickly it was not playing piano because you don't have weighted keys.
Yeah.
So it's like completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say, okay, now I need weighted keys.
Yeah.
And so I bought like a digital piano from Roland,
Okay.
which is basically really useful to me
Yeah.
because I can sync it with my Ableton
Mm-hmm.
and use it as MIDI controller.
Nice.
Also via Bluetooth without any cables.
Ah.
It means I can play each and every plugin with my piano
Nice.
directly and recording audio and MIDI,
Mm-hmm.
which is good if you are not skilled player like me. So I'm not. So I need to adjust something at
Yes.
the end if I want.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice. It's
Okay.
really a good gear, I think. Like
Yeah.
for me, was like the best piece of equipment I can buy.
Nice. Which one was it? Do you know the-
Roland 102 BP.
Okay.
or Roland BP 102. I don't know the.
All right. All right. Cool. That's good. Then the listeners can check it out. Maybe get it.
Yeah.
But I think then your computer needs. Well, does every computer have like the Bluetooth function? Because I have a very old school computer. I don't know if I would be able to.
I think like if you don't if you want to get through the cable to the standard USB, you can do it as well.
True.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like comfortable to sometimes to be without cable
Sitting
between
on
your
the couch.
legs exactly. And and for me it was like really cool to see that actually with one gear you can do really tons of things.
Yeah.
And you have access to all the Roland libraries, which are super nice.
Nice.
So you have also the drum kits or whatever.
Okay.
So or the string kits or
Nice.
arc or whatever. That's really
Yeah.
solid gear, I would say.
Yeah. Roland brought some good stuff on the market, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah, everything. But yeah, cool. And what kind of other equipment would come on number 2 then? Let's say.
Difficult question, this one, because I think I have a Nord, the one I used for the last track, which is cool, but it's not comfortable to use. I have to be honest.
Okay.
Because, for example, if you want to have the MIDI, you have like really to go through the MIDI cables and then a USB adapter if you don't have this multi-clock station, and it's not super comfortable for the studio, to be honest. And I think like really important for me are the headphones.
Okay.
I have like some really good headphones now,
Yes.
biodynamic, and those are amazing.
Are
And
those the one you're having on right now?
No. These
different
are for playing. These are I think. Sorry.
Okay.
But no, those are really producer headphones.
Yeah.
And are really due to the headphones you really achieve to get a proper room around your ear. So it's amazing for mixing, like really, because my room was like I think not even that big, but was not sounding well.
Yeah.
So it was like difficult to get a nice mix down of my own track.
Yes.
I was forced to go to some friends with a proper studio, and that's a cool thing, but sometimes you just want to do it by your own very quickly and test your track for the next gig directly. And those headphones gives you the chance to do a decent work or a good work if you are skilled enough.
Yeah.
And I would recommend like having good headphones. It's nowadays one of the most important tools in my opinion.
Yes.
Of course, if you have enough money to build up a proper studio, that's another level. But let's say if you start, so that's a good point to start.
Yeah, I think that's definitely legit. But a lot of studios are also closed at the moment. And even if you want to plan to build your own studio, it's not really allowed anyways. I mean, with the regulations.
It's not easy.
It's not easy,
It's not easy, yeah, exactly. You have to make maybe, I think you can do just a 1-on-1 session maximal. And it's not so easy as it used to be. And you have to always to think that you have to pay.
Yeah.
If it's not a friend of you inviting.
Definitely.
If it's a proper studio, then you have to pay.
Yes. Yes. So about the situation at the moment with the regulations. So I've seen something around, like going around on social media about the clubs staying closed until the end of 2021. Is that a thing?
I don't know. It's the first answer. On the other side, I'm experienced enough to think that there are going to be some massive changes into our game. A lot of people are now, they just want to go to the club or they just want to play or whatever. And that's cool. I mean, everybody who has been involved into the game for maybe long or short time wants to get back.
Yes.
But on the other side, we need to rethink some structures of the club, because I don't believe that even with the vaccine and yeah, once this regulation is over, everything can be done as previously.
Yeah.
That's only my point of view, but I see many signals. I want to make an example. Like, for example, during this summer, we have experienced that some clubs reopens a little bit, just in outdoor forms, with social distancing and whatever. And in order to avoid the queue outside the door,
Yeah.
was like you get a pre-sale ticket. Okay, that's not Berlin to me.
No.
I know what I mean.
Yes.
The door was like one of the key of this game. Like,
True.
really, the selection at the door makes the difference inside the club. I still
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah.
Even it could not be cool. Somehow some good people stays out. There are mistakes or whatever. We can talk about it. But on the other side, I really believe a good crowd, a selected crowd, gives you a better energy.
Yeah.
Also as an artist. And now that a lot of owner has experienced this way of earning money before you even open the door,
Yes.
I'm not sure they want to go back to the selection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand that. And this is actually a factor that I'm more familiar with in the Netherlands, where they're 100% depending on pre-sales. If the pre-sale don't achieve a certain level, they will just cancel the whole event, and like give the people back the money who bought tickets. But in Berlin, it really comes down to the night itself, whether it's going to be a great party or not.
Exactly. And I think it's not also about the game here in Berlin. I mean, it's like worldwide.
Yeah.
We need to figure out a solution or something that is working for the customer, so to say, for the clubber,
Yeah.
and for the DJs, and for the owner, and so on. For the
Sure.
staff, of course. The staff, it's very important. That's a topic I would love to talk about. It's like, really, take care about your stuff.
Yeah.
If you're a club owner, take care about your staff, take care about their mental health.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, a lot of people start this job because they are students, or they need, like, they want to party. They want to be there, not because they understood that's a proper job. It's just most between a real job
Yeah.
and making party with your friends after your shift.
True.
Okay, which is okay. It's not wrong. But you, as an owner, you have the responsibility to be sure their mental health is really following the whole process behind. Because otherwise you see people, like, really going crazy after a couple of months or a year or a couple of years,
Yeah.
or whatever, because there is this confusion between working and partying, and chilling with friends, and being in a club situation. And this could be pretty dangerous. And of course, on the other side, there is how much did they pay
Yeah.
for those barkeepers, or a garderobe guy, or whatever. I mean, we can do better than this. I
Yes.
think, like, definitely, as a game, I'm talking like we as a game, the whole game
Yeah.
should work here for more rights for the co-workers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's also it's not the most healthy work environment. You're constantly exposed to,
Definitely.
like, other people's germs, let's say. But now that we're more aware of it, obviously, but also the smoke the whole time, not a lot of fresh air, and very loud music that is constantly going on for a long time. So yeah, I think definitely club owners should take more care of their employees. But I have sometimes the feeling, so it depends, of course, from club to club, but sometimes you just have random people running random things, and then, like, bookers come and go in this kind of way, and there's no structure. Nobody seems to be aware of what's going on at all.
Exactly, that's the problem. The thing is, like, I can understand that somehow it's part of the game, because there are just a few people that really wants to live their life in a club.
Yeah.
Really wants to go through the years.
Yeah.
Most of the people just want to have an experience, a cool experience, a nice experience for, I don't know, 1 year, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
whatever. But then it's like, okay, now I'm done. I'm looking for another job. I need something else.
Yeah.
And but I really strong believe we need to get more professional. We need to have people that really decide, okay, I wanna work in a club
Yes.
for the rest of my life, basically, or for how long as I want it. Like, it's like, another example. I want to be a taxi driver,
Yes.
and I do that. And there are some training, and you have to go through an exam, and you have to get your license and
Yeah.
whatever. And I do not want to do that way, but I think a little bit of support, and
Yes.
also an eye for the more professional people in the game,
Yeah.
that would be really helpful for the whole system.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally understand. How would you go about that? Like, let's say, solution. Do you have anything like in mind, or does it stay a thing with the owners of the clubs, or is there an option of, say, let's get people together from different clubs and talk about how to improve, let's say, the working environment and the conditions for the employees?
It's something that can be developed through conversation. I think, like, really, we need more conversation about this topic.
Yeah.
We need more ideas. People coming up with new ideas, with new concept. Uh, I do not have an answer, like a real one.
Yeah.
But I was like really aware about the problem. I was like really seeing people going crazy, having
Yes.
like really bad reactions, bad reactions,
Yeah.
and or put themselves in dangers, like really, really bad situations where you see, okay, these guys should have stopped working way before
Yeah.
than now.
Okay.
And this is something that you can maybe achieve by having some team lead, because now the clubs are big structures, like it's not like used to be before, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 people running the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like really the biggest club, so to say. They have like proper teams. There is the team of taking care of the bar, the one for the garderobe, the one for the security, and whatever. And there is always like a team lead.
Okay.
And this team lead, the figure of this person, in my opinion, has to become a more sensible figure.
Okay.
And a more talkative figure.
Yeah.
Someone is like really taking care about his stuff more than the work.
Yeah.
You should like put a little bit of work maybe away from them and give them the chance. Not like I make like now an example for the barkeeper, it's like not sorting out beers, but like really have a one-on-one with all the barkeepers once a month.
Yes.
How do you feel after this night? How do you feel? Is it too stressful? How was your, also by scheduling the shifts you have to plan. That's also a big topic, because most of the fight inside the clubs are because of the shifts. Okay, because if you have like a structure which is working like for so many hours or days even, okay, you cannot give always the same shift to the same person, know, because most of the time he is unhappy or other people are unhappy because they want to have that shift or whatever. So it always has to become a very fluent mechanism that adapt to the people and to the stuff you have.
Yeah.
Because you always have to also, in my opinion, know the people you are working with.
Yes.
That's the key of the thing.
Yeah.
Because you know, okay, this guy is working better at night. This one is for the morning. This one is for the afternoon or whatever. And this is the guy you have to put in front of the door because he gives the right statement for the club. Okay, once you are at the door, this one is communicating the right thing.
Yes.
And the other one, it's not the proper one. You know, you have to
Okay.
make this choice
Yeah.
right. Because that's like something very, very important in my opinion for our culture.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. And I think mental health for sure is a huge part of it, especially if it's nighttime. People work at nighttime and they get isolated from the normal world, let's say. They go home when people go to work, basically. So it is then very easy to fall off the grid and go
Exactly.
insane. Yeah.
And also learn them how to find a balance, how
Yeah.
to find a proper balance. That's like really important to me because otherwise it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult, especially for young people. But even for older, it doesn't matter. Once you are like really in front of this a huge crowd, a lot of information and music and chaos and whatever, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy as it looks.
True. Yeah, and I think there's also the gap in the perception of people because when people enter the club, they mostly go to have fun and dance, and it's in their free time.
Exactly.
Whereas let's say, people who work there, they're actually working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you have like a really to the people, the co-workers need to understand,
Yeah.
and also the audience need to understand.
True.
So I think with a better education
Yeah.
in this process, we could have like less burnouts, I would say at first, and then better condition for all the club workers.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in a really lucky position here in Berlin. But what I have experienced abroad, that was like really sometimes like really horrible. But and especially in Italy, I saw like really people exploiting other people
Yeah.
and then throwing them away once they are fucked up. And that's not cool. That's
No.
not how it's supposed to be, you know. And this is what happens in a lot of clubs
Yes.
all over the world, even
Yeah.
here. So that's like, in my opinion, one of the biggest goal for our scene would be like to get a better professionalized staff.
True.
Which doesn't mean they have to be boring, you know. They don't need to look like the bank accounting or whatever. It's
No,
like
no, I
no,
understand
no.
what
It's
you mean.
still people from the club.
Yes,
It's
yes.
and that's okay, and that's
Yeah.
fine to me. It does not have to become a formal thing. It's just about learn them how to get in touch with people, how to work for such a long shift,
Yeah.
how to prepare yourself before the shift, how you have to do after. And then you can do whatever you want because
Sure.
in the end it's your choice.
Yeah.
But by giving them some advice, if you have already a big experience, maybe as club owner, then this could be really helpful.
Yes. Yeah. I think that is 100% correct, and I think it actually kind of also makes it more trust worthy, let's say, because the idea of, let's say, the mom of a kid who works at the club, she's afraid basically of the bad things that might happen to him.
Okay.
If the club also then takes responsibility and cares for the kid, then the general fear and the chance that bad things can happen is less.
Exactly. Look, I mean, in the end, the club, even if it's like entertainment, it's music, it's culture, it's whatever you want to call it, but for the government, it's still a company.
Yes.
And if you look like now, all the companies are now like giving like really to their employees, like the most successful companies are really giving the people the chance to develop themselves.
Definitely, yeah.
Which I don't see in the club,
Yeah.
unless you are a DJ or someone doing music.
True.
Maybe for the visual thing too, but not that much.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would love to see like really school of bookers. We have so many unprofessional bookers
Yeah.
around, really unprofessional. You
Yeah.
know, like improvised people, friend of a friend. They maybe know tons of DJs, but they don't know how. They have no clue how to handle it.
Yeah.
And you see how fast they change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sisyphos, the same bookers since 12 years.
Yeah.
Okay, which is almost the length of the club. So it's like really, so the story of the club. So it's like really one person, Julian, and Toby, of course, together. But Julian was at the beginning the solid person
Yeah.
having a vision for the club. Was not about the names, was not about the audience, was not about, we want to have a long party, we pay from this amount to this amount, wherever you are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't come with your agency, blah, blah, bullshit.
Yeah.
We don't care. If you want to be here, those are the rules, and those are the same for the biggest name and for the smallest one.
That is beautiful.
But means having a vision.
Yes.
You know, having a vision how you want to develop your booking.
Yeah.
And of course, in the beginning, was not easy to get bigger names because bigger names are always like, for that man, no, I don't play for that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be treated equal as the upcomer or whatever.
Yeah.
I can understand it, but those are then the wrong people. Those are not the one we want to book.
Yeah.
In the end, and so this makes then sense in a long time because then you have small people becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's a cool thing when once they are big, but they have this mentality and they know, okay, this is also for new upcomer the place to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, Black Loops, it's an example. It was like telling me, the first one giving me a gig in Berlin was Julian. So it's like, that's like how it works. Being a booker mean, in my opinion, being a talent scout somehow.
True.
You have to find out. Of course, there are some sure shots. There are some big names, or even not big, but like solid names playing around since long times, and okay, those are good DJs, and I want to have them. It's okay, it's fine, but the real art behind this work, it's like to find something new, to find new people and bring them to an audience and give them the chance to play in front of people in a good situation with a proper sound system, a good DJ care.
Yeah.
That's important. And I see a lot of bookers looking only at the numbers or looking at the trend or booking their friends because, it's my homie, I want to give him the chance or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not the concept. That's not a vision to me.
No.
This means on one side you are just following the trends, on the other side you are prizing your homies, but that's not having a vision, in my opinion. Yeah. Having a vision means really thinking a long journey and say, okay, what would be a strategy?
Yes.
In order to discover some new music, in order to make people happy, and give them a great experience, and I would love to see more professional people looking for music, and be in the club, because that's what I really hate. It was like you have been booked by people you never see during the night, and they don't know how do you play.
True. Yes.
So this does not make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, that's a situation where I've encountered it a lot, where you only write with the booker, but you never actually see them. But yeah, as a booker, you need to be, I think, on the dance floor to experience the whole thing and to make the next good lineup for it. But I think one of the more obvious things is that the bookers are afraid they're gonna do bad and the night's not gonna go well, so they just go with the most followers, with the lineup that will bring the most people. Yeah, and that's the biggest big mistake. It's you think that you need to bring something that it's already well known. Because otherwise you don't get the attention of the people, they will not come, and then the club owner is making you stress because of this, because
There are not enough people, clubbers inside at that night or whatever. And what I learned through the years, and that's something I learned way before coming to Berlin, when I used to start my first party. My really first party we have been like in South Tyrol, illegal party for like really long time. And we always found new location, off location, always build up everything from zero, bringing sound system, bringing DJs that at time nobody knows. I remember Zenker brothers sleeping on my couch, back in 2007 or 9.
Nice.
So like really, and also like big nowadays big name, but at that time was like we discovered them through the music.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, we live in South Tyrol. Nobody knows anything about this game,
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we book now the Villa Lobos or someone unknown. We have to be able to communicate to the people that our party is cool. It's not about the name. It's about you have to find out the right music for the right location. That's the most effective thing to me.
Yeah.
And then people will be your voice, because then they will spread the voice and tell other people, okay, this party was awesome, you need to go to the next one.
Yes.
And you may start with 20, 30 people, but in the end it was like 400, 500 every time, and we have always been sold out 1 week before.
Nice.
And people don't even know where the party was.
Yeah.
Because we always was like, okay, now you can get your invitation before, and there have been like a spot around the city, always a different bar or whatever.
Yeah.
We will find us at that time, at that spot. If you want to be part of the party, you have to come there. You cannot come to the door and say, hello, I'm here, I want to go in. No, because we wanted to have a selection before.
Nice.
Okay. And this was the best way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning was like really, everybody was like telling me, are you crazy? You really believe that people will give you money without knowing everything? Or I say, yeah, but we are not asking, the Ibiza ticket, it was just the beginning. It's small, you have to start with baby steps.
Yeah.
So, if you even do like, okay, you can put like here 3 euros or 5 euros or whatever.
Yeah.
And then people are open for it because it's new, it's cool, it never happens in that place, for example. But there are many concepts like this. This was only an example for me. But this way of approaching the whole party, the whole concept of making a party, is the best one for me and the one who pays off in a long term. Otherwise, you are just a trend. If you book like the biggest name that are now the top spot, in 2, 5, or 3 or 4 years, your club or your party collective or whatever, it's done.
Yeah.
Because the trend is over. At some point, it's always over.
Yes.
So you need to have a vision and to say, okay, I want to find the right music for this location and for this audience.
Yeah.
And that's how the magic happens. And also being able to say no to the people. Like really, you may have like good friends asking you, and they will love to help you. But if you are professional and you want to have a good party, you have to look, do they fit in or not?
Yes.
If not, it's tough, but you have to say, no, I'm sorry. I think maybe you can play the next one or the one we do in a location that fits good to you, or whatever festival.
Yeah, but I think rejecting people is also very hard, no?
It's difficult. It's I think the most difficult part for me sometimes, because I'm a very inclusive and I would love to work with as much people as I can. But on the other side, I learned through the years that you have to make some choice. And really also, while you form your stuff at the beginning or the collective or whatever, I've been through many collectives before the Sisyphos thing. And it was always important to have people that have more or less the same vision and they are open also for the new.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Nice. So maybe, probably then in the new projects coming up with the Sisyphos, some of the principles gonna be applied again.
Yeah, definitely. It's always, for me, was always collecting those principles through the years, through the experience, and then make it my own
Yeah,
and talk with it with other people, bring them to other people. Because after my generation, for example, in South Tyrol, there have been more parties like we did.
yeah,
And this was cool for me because I know those guys have been working for me at the beginning,
yeah,
and then after it, they did their own thing, and it was cool. And eventually, it happens. Then years later, that they also invite me to
yes,
as a guest, and it was like really for me, kind of cool thing to see. Okay, this is the new generation. They are doing good.
yeah,
They are doing it properly.
nice,
They are not all about the names. They are not. They do proper sound system, good decoration, good things. That's amazing for me.
yeah,
When you see people being creative in what they do, finding cool location, that's all about.
yeah. I think that is great for sure. Yeah, it makes the circle go around a bit, especially if they've been involved with you in the beginning and then learned a lot of things from you.
I mean, I learned that too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
that it was not
definitely.
invented by me. I just adapted to the territory
Yeah,
because this kind of strategy was something I saw in Milan back in the days, and the guy before, the guy saw it in Miami before, and
yes,
there
yes,
was
yes, yes.
always a circle. There's always someone before you.
Yeah,
But then you can adapt it and find your the right way.
definitely. Something went
Good.
wrong there with the when I took a sip of water. Yeah, one of the first times that I went to Sisyphos, when I came out, actually, I saw like one of the Sisyphos staff on a bicycle with a little thing attached to it on the back, and we're collecting, let's say, any kind of bottles that were left on the streets all the way up to Ostkreuz,
Yeah.
the station,
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really basically taking care also of the environment that the club is based in.
Definitely. You have to do that. If you don't want to be hated by everybody else around you,
Yeah,
you must respect the common place, the street, basically.
true.
I mean, there, of course, there are some limits or like some rules
Yeah,
that you have to respect. But on the other side, it's cool to take care
yeah,
by yourself. And really, if you see, okay, my clients or my customers or my clubbers, whatever you want to call it, are bringing tons of bottles all over the streets.
yeah,
And I don't know, on Monday morning, kids go to school. This it's not cool.
no,
So it's better you take a step, you do that, you clean that up, you clean your shit up,
yes,
and that's cool. Then it's fine for them, because I mean, children are not going to school at 3 a.m. on
Sure.
Saturday, So at this time, who cares?
Yeah.
But then after it has to become you have to clean everything up. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, take care of each other, basically.
Yeah. Also, that's a topic about off location. Very, very important.
Yeah,
In my opinion, once you decide to throw a party into an off location, make sure you can leave the location as it was, and if possible, even better
nice.
than before. That was
Yeah.
always my philosophy. Well, because I'm coming from the mountain, so like we used to throw a party really up on the mountains,
Yeah.
like over 1,000 meters or whatever, and it was like really okay. Those places are so nice, so beautiful. The nature is pure,
Yeah,
and okay, it's nice to bring 300 people from all over Europe for a festival on the mountains, or even more people, but you have to take care about the environment and leave everything as it was, maybe, because otherwise we would like be stupid to damage the whole mountain because of one weekend. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. On the other side, I really hate those people who say, no, that's not possible for one weekend because you disturb animals or whatever. I mean, I don't agree with that. Okay, I'm not about that at all. I mean, we are here. We are here to live. We should use the mountain or the sea or whatever,
Yeah.
because we live on this planet and not everywhere else. So let's do it, but let's do it respectful,
Nice.
in a good way. That, even animals are coming back after 3 days. It's not that they are gone and
Yeah.
died. If they probably wouldn't show up during the party or the festival, but once you put everything like it was, or as I said, even better, clean up everything you find on the floor.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's for a festival or for the tourist having his work. We clean everything.
Nice.
We left everything very, very good, in a good situation. And that's like, I think, the strongest part that you can have, because that way people start to understand, okay, you are not devastating the whole environment.
Yeah.
You just use it for a cultural thing,
Yeah.
and then you leave it like it was, or even better.
True.
So
Yeah, I think that's the most sustainable way of doing it. And also canceling out, let's say, the stereotyping of partying and making a mess and then leaving everything,
exactly,
Yeah.
because this is also a bad stereotype. And
Yes.
I think it's cool to tell people they have to take care about their own trash and whatever, like many festival do's nowadays. They gives you this bag for your trash, and you pay €5, then you bring it back, so
Yeah.
you get your money back basically once you bring your trash at the end of the festival. This is a cool concept, but this is not enough.
Okay.
Make sure you have a team taking care of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, once you are doing a party, you just want to party, you don't want to be the guy taking care of the environment. I mean, you want to clean up everything. It's part of the party. You want
Yeah.
to lose yourself, to have a good time, and cleaning, it's almost not a good time. So
Yes.
and so I think, like, make sure it's good that customer do their own part.
Yes.
But on the other side also, like, people who are throwing the party, they really need to stay there and help you,
Yeah.
or the whole team, or you have a cleaning team or whatever, like taking
Yeah.
care of this. It's like really important for me.
Yeah, I think it is for sure the organizer's responsibility to take care of the trash.
Yes,
Yeah.
because in the end you bring the people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do what they want to do, but then in the end you have to leave everything good, in a good condition. But
True. Yeah, and if everything stays messy and all that, then it's also very hard for other festivals, let's say new festivals,
Exactly.
to ask for permission and to
Definitely.
get the permission granted from the government to do any kind of activity.
Definitely. But even if it's an illegal, I mean,
Yeah.
I really would apply this rule to every kind of party.
Yeah.
Like, really, make sure you clean up your shit. That's
True.
very simple, but and doesn't matter if it is a rave or it's a super posh club or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also have a street in front of the door.
True.
So take care of what's around you, and then you will have probably less problem and be more satisfied with your work too, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's also about yourself doing part, for a clean city or a clean environment. It's always good, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree on that. Yeah, and I think generally in Berlin there's, I think, a nice system by the clubs that they take care of that and also tell the people who go out of the club to be quiet for the neighbors and such.
Yes.
Bit of a responsibility.
There is definitely, there are conscious people of the problem, and they do good things, I think, in this direction.
Yeah.
Way better than other cities do.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But there is still place for improvement, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Always.
definitely. Nice. All right. So, Berlin clubs.
Yes.
What would be your favorite club, let's say, after Sissi?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, Heideglühen.
Yeah.
Definitely Heideglühen.
Nice.
Definitely Heideglühen was, for me, as clubber here in Berlin the place to be.
Okay.
Like really, besides Sisi, of course. But
Yes.
there was always a good choice in music. Like really, they always had like good, very very good DJ.
Yeah.
And also they don't care like if you are a really big name or medium or an upcomer. It's like really about the music, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can definitely hear it. I mean, I met Nat Venel due to his gig at Heideglühen.
Okay.
He was basically playing a warm up the first 3 hours,
Yeah.
and then the DJs booked after him just didn't show up, and he took over,
Okay.
and he did 6 hours in a
Nice.
row, playing wonderful music, and I was like really impressed by him. I
Yeah.
was like really going there and have a chat with him, talk with him a little bit, and then that's how it starts.
Nice.
And also because the club is not too big, it's pretty small actually,
Yeah.
and offers you a complete experience,
Yeah.
long one, not 3 days long, but still long enough in my opinion.
Okay.
And it's like a nice concept, I think.
Yeah.
And also they throw party every second week.
Yeah.
And that's also a cool idea, I think. Like,
True.
it makes it more special, because after the party, I need to wait 2 more weeks for the next one.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Not every weekend.
Yeah, no, sometimes, you came out on Monday morning and you think, Friday again, not sure. It could be too much. But yeah, these 2 times, is one party every second week. It's good, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good rhythm.
True. Yeah, I've only heard very positive experiences from people talking about Heideglühen in general. Then I guess that's it for today, tonight, this evening. See you next time, everybody, and have a good one.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.